He's Batman.
Yeah.
He's a Flash.
Are there any freshwaters that we can have up here? Are there more?
Yeah. You can tell we are as organized as ever. Oh, there's no stairs there.
Ashley would be moderating the panel, right?
Standing? Wow, my bunion's already
Are you gonna read some news, Ashley, first?
Yeah.
What's first
Where
up?
are my show notes?
Well, I guess to start, thank you guys for coming out today. You guys, of course, you guys know Ashley Mova. Christian Harloff has already been up here for 2 hours. John Schnapp.
That's right.
All the time I'm like, have to adjust
Dennis
it.
Zen. And some of you may know Wendy Lee. Okay. And Mark Ellis has disappeared. He's here somewhere. I'm sure he will run in here momentarily. So we want to keep this as like low tech as possible. Oh, there he is. There's Mark Ellis. I mean, you guys hear us talk enough, so we just want to leave it open. We just kind of want to use this whole, I guess we got 45 minutes left, to just kind of let you guys dictate the conversation and take your questions. So there was a microphone here. If you guys have a question you guys want to ask us, we can talk about movies, we can talk about television, we can talk about the industry itself, we can talk about behind the scenes stuff, we can talk about anything you guys want to talk about today. And so you guys can start by starting the line. Oh, nobody wants to break the seal, be the first one up. Oh no, okay, I said that. So we will get through as many and try to get through all the questions today.
Can I just ask that no one ask about Bruce Wayne being Deathstroke and that dumb thing?
Nor Luke Skywalker being Kylo Ren.
Let's just not talk about dumb stuff.
What did you have for breakfast, John?
Let's not talk about dumb stuff. Everybody sits down.
Wouldn't it be great if everybody up sat down?
So Ashley.
All right, first live mailbag question.
I guess just I want to start with a quick question since I couldn't think of anything else. First of all, I love Schmoes Know. I've seen you Comedy Store.
What did Schmoes know?
All right, there we go.
Schmo is something or other, I don't understand.
Jedi Council and Heroes. Love all the shows. John Cambia, if you get 2 press passes for The Force Awakens, where are you taking?
Answer carefully.
She's sitting in the back.
All right. First of all, at the back of the room, Ann Candy is going with me because my marriage is
Hey John, before you answer, can I just point out that you were about to answer and then Christian said wife excluded. So he did not want you to take your wife. I'm more than happy to go with you and Ann. I think that'd be a great threesome.
The second one, if I only had 2, wow, so it's me plus 2?
Well, I was saying you plus 1
Oh,
from
me
the
plus
show.
1.
But
You just saved his life right there.
Because it would be a Sophie's choice between Mark and Christian, I'd probably take Schnapp.
Actually, I love that answer. I don't want Christian seeing it before me. So.
Yeah, win by double default.
Be an interesting Jedi Council.
Slices my neck at night and puts my skin on. I'm John Schnapp.
So John, you saw it, you talk about it.
All right, who's next?
Hi, my name is Asman Zambrano. I've been watching you guys since you guys were MC movie news.
Thank you.
Found you a month after you started, so very good. My question is to all of you. But Christian, you read the Darth Vader comics, the new ones, and if I'm mistaken, correct me, but isn't he building some kind of army because he doesn't trust the Emperor? And if so, could that part of that army be the Knights of Ren? Could he have funded that?
That's a great question. Just for those of you who are not, may not know what he's asking in regards to the comic. Like, the comic was Star Wars. Thank you. The comic was Star Wars. Like when Disney bought Lucasfilm, is that all the stuff that used to be Legends and all those books, all the books and everything that come out originally in comic books are not part of the canon anymore. Now there's new canon. Darth Vader is part of that new canon, and in that, he is kind of starting a new army with the Emperor. I don't think that's going to be the Knights of Ren. I think that that might be a version of what has happened with the Inquisitors. I think that'll be explained too, because we don't know what's happened with Rebels. If you're watching season 1, season 2, that happens before the Vader issue. So I think that'll kind of tie in to what they've been working on, the crazy labs that the Emperor and Darth Vader have been working on. But no, I happen to think Knights of Ren have been around before even the Jedi and the Sith. I think the Knights of Ren have been around for a very long time, and they're going to make a resurgence. That's just me guessing, but we'll see.
Thank you.
Next question.
Thank you. My name is Kevin Ross. I have a Jedi Council question, but it's addressed to everyone. I am of an age group that saw Star Wars the way the Force intended to, 4, 5, and 6, and then 1, 2, and 3. Our heroes never died, right? And seeing the Clone Wars and Rebels, let's just call it the defeat of Ahsoka Tano. How are you going to handle it? Council members that have children going to explain to their kids? And how do you think Disney's going to handle the fact that the only female Jedi is going to be lost for all intents and purposes?
First of all, how I'll handle it is I'll probably have a little party.
You like her now.
I do like her now, though. That's the thing. I like her now, so I gotta say that. But you gotta remember, though, there have been many female Jedi. I mean, even right now, as you go into the Kanan comic books and all that kind of stuff, like who Kanan's master was a female. There were lots of female Jedis. As we get into the modern era of the film, there's only 2 Jedis left. I mean, there's Obi-Wan and there's Yoda before Luke comes around.
Right.
So I don't really think you're killing the only female one. Well, it's not like there's 50 male ones and only 1 female one. They're killing off the lone female one. So I really don't think it's going to be an issue.
But if I could rebut, we grew up. So we really saw Ahsoka Tano grow up from an 8-year-old sky guy to a full-blown adult. There have been children that have watched her from the beginning. They only know the prequels, as from the beginning. They only know the Clone Wars as the Clone Wars. She's an accomplished, relentless Jedi. Some might argue that she fights better than Luke Skywalker. So I'm trying to piece together for friends of my children who are about, because we all see it coming.
Right.
I personally think it's the Emperor that's going to blow our way and not Darth Vader. How do you guys all think that's going to play out?
Dude, I got a total awesome theory. Remember midi-chlorians?
No.
So anyway, that's part of it. You gotta suck it, man. That's part of canon. They come out with this midi-chlorian liquid drink, and there's thousands of Jedis. It's just instant.
Gotcha.
I think they're going to handle it with their you and I both said she's going to die heroically. She's going to drive saving the rebellion.
And our heroes have died. I mean, not the female ones, but I mean, Obi-Wan dies in the first one we see in episode 4.
Can I ask you? You guys would know way more about all the stuff that's canon. Now, in Empire, they met Yoda, and they met Ben Kenobi, who he was in hiding as a Jedi. So the Jedi are all extinct, but yet he was a Jedi. Is it possible that other Jedi are hiding?
I mean, look,
Except, Yoda said, "When gone am I, the last of the Jedi will be."
But you also got to remember too that Ahsoka left the Jedi Order, so she went off the grid, and there was something that the Jedi weren't able to track her for a very long time, so they didn't know that she was around. So who's to say who else? That Kanan did that.
Yoda was also 900 years old.
He was a senile. He was a senile.
Like, my grandfather's 90. He doesn't get to use the remote. So,
But was it like Kenobi still a Jedi, or once you retire from being a Jedi, then you're just a dude or a chick? So maybe she's like, I'm not a Jedi anymore, and then she's not officially a Jedi.
I don't know. I mean, I think what it leads back to, though, to be honest, is I think it all leads back to Rey. I really think it all leads back to Rey Skywalker, because the fact that we are so emotionally attached to Ahsoka, and do not think Dave Filoni is going to be in mourning when he takes out Ahsoka. And it is because we've had such an attachment to her, whether or not you liked her in Clone Wars or not, she has been very strong to the females, to men. I hated her the first time I saw her. I love her. Right, exactly. So I think that the way we're going to take it is the way that we're supposed to take it. We're all going to be very sad, and that's going to lead into the next great female Jedi, who will be Rey Skywalker.
Thank you.
Next question. Why aren't you wearing your mask?
you wouldn't be able to hear me well.
Oh, okay.
It's like a Mad Max
You
story.
don't have to wear it.
Well, Darth Maul didn't say anything anyway, so that's how it should be.
He did it in Clone Wars in episode 2. My own poem shall be heard.
My name is Shaler. I'm also Baron Von Maul. Star Wars steampunk. But my question is for everyone. I've noticed with my own movie experience that we were finding out about movies like in the very earliest stage of production, like where it's just like ideas. So we have like 3, 4, 5 years sometimes to just build these things up in our heads. And I found that lately with some of the movies, especially some of them, like I love Jurassic Park, and I kind of felt let down by Jurassic World. I'm wondering what you guys have felt is your biggest letdown because of this experience that we have now, where we have years and years to build movies up in our heads. And, we have the whole idea already planned out. When it doesn't meet that expectation, we're kind of let down.
I'm gonna get booed here, but Ultron. I think that for me, like I was expecting, I didn't hate Ultron, I thought it was good, but I was expecting Empire Strikes Back type stuff, and maybe that's just not unrealistic expectations, but I was expecting a really dark movie that's going to forward the story more, and I felt it was just kind of a spectacle.
I'm gonna say Chronicles of Riddick.
Is that really? You're looking forward to it that much?
It's supposed to be like Doom with the necromongers, but it just didn't go there.
Man, this is not a huge one, but I remember following this one from its inception on. Mobster Squad was the one Sean Penn. I mean, when they first announced Gangster Squad. Sorry, not one. Thank you. Very different movie. Gangster Squad, because like from the moment they announced the cast, Sean Penn, Ryan Gosling, you got Brolin, you got Emma Stone.
Looked like LA Confidential.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it looked fantastic. I loved the director, loved everything. It was on my top 5, I think, most anticipated for the year, and it just sucked. So yeah, that
Here comes Santa Claus.
Hey, you know what I'll say? I'll say Chappie. Because it's like, I really like the old Blomkamp's District 9. I was really looking forward to it. I love District 9. I liked Elysium. And I absolutely hated Chappie. And after these guys watching, they said it sucked. I was like, fuck. So, I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it on a goddamn plane and still hated it. So I was like, but I still think he's talented. I'm still looking forward to Alien 5. I'm gonna give him
never gonna happen.
What about Spider-Man 2? I mean, we all were looking forward to that.
That doesn't even count as a movie.
Yeah,
Can't even talk about that.
But that was a disappointing.
Yeah,
I didn't hate it like you did, but
no, I actually even kind of liked it, but compared to the first one, it was like such a letdown.
Yeah, I would say Spectre. I'm just kidding. I would actually say when I was a kid, is that like you didn't know as like early that movies are being made and like we're getting really hyped up for that. One of the exceptions was Batman Forever. I was a kid and I could not wait to see Batman Forever. I knew Michael Keaton was going to be coming back, but Val Kilmer, the guy who played Jim Morrison, the guy from Top Gun, is going to be Batman. This is going to be perfect. And it was the first time I'd been let down in the movie theater, and I didn't know what to feel after that U2 song starts playing. I'm like, that was it? That wasn't it? This wasn't like a joke. Like, I'm not being punked. This actually just happened. Like, I didn't know how to react negatively because my parents were really looking forward to me seeing it. And so I walked out of the theater and they were waiting there to pick me up. They're like, how was it? And I was like, I don't know what to say right now. It sucked.
How'd you guys feel about Tomorrowland?
yeah, that was disappointing too.
Yes, I liked Tomorrowland. I mean,
It's a letdown.
I
still liked it. I just
it,
didn't love it.
but I was going in expecting to love it.
It's like 20 different movies.
It really is, and it smashes you over the head with the message, and it's like, come on, guys. And I was really.
It's a really good movie for 2 acts, and the third act is like, hey kids, please recycle. Okay, we'll see you later.
It should have come with like a little paper pamphlet that man, this is what you should have learned.
Yes.
Thank you, and just add one thing, Darth Plagueis.
What's
Who's in charge?
Yeah.
Oh, of course he's with Steampunk Leia.
How you doing?
Good.
Big fan of the show. So for the past year, my sisters and I have been showing my nieces like movies that we grew up with, to the point that they actually love like The Breakfast Club and Pretty and Pink. So they always.
All right, smart man over here.
So I would want my questions for everybody is that what movie like hit with you like one of your favorite movies when you were younger and a teenager that you love like the next generation to see?
Karate Kid.
Goonies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one.
Princess Bride.
Oh, go ahead. Wendy?
Princess Bride.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I love Princess Bride too. Yeah, I freaking love it.
I'm shocked nobody said Back to the Future yet. That's like the most entertaining movie. Back to the Future and Beetlejuice are 2 different genres, and they're 2 movies I think every generation should get to experience.
Next victim.
Hi, my name's Alan.
Yeah.
Real quick, Dennis, I love your Fallout gear.
Thank you.
My question is regarding Rogue One and just sort of Darth Vader's role in it, because I know in the original films he was pretty hands-on, looking for everybody. So how hands-on do you think his role would be in Rogue One, or is it going to be more in the background?
I think we all know he's going to be there. We all know but to use him, I think, as just a cameo would be a missed opportunity. This is one of those rare chances Star Wars is going to ever have again to really use Darth Vader without it feeling forced. This is a natural opportunity to use him. So while he will not be the main character, he will not be the second main character, he will not be the third. I think he's got to be top 5 build.
I think he's an uh-oh factor, meaning that for the first 2 acts, you're not going to see him, you might hear about him, but then guess who you have to avoid in the 3rd act? And if Vader is chasing him in the 3rd act, that really ups the stakes. So I think he's going to be the guy that got to avoid, because remember in episode 4, he's pissed off. Where are the plans to? I want those plans. Yeah, he found so they duped him somehow, and we see what they've done with him in Rebels, and they're using him in a great way in Rebels. He shows up for a couple scenes, he's dominant. Then he pops out, you know that he's there, they're mentioning him, but I think that'll be the same for Rogue One.
Yeah, I mean, but like when you think about the beginning of A New Hope and Darth Vader's choking that guy out, he wants to know what happens to the Death Star plans, it's like, I think that's the first time, I think Vader like woke up that morning, they're like, dude, we lost the Death Star plans. And he's like, what? I gotta get on my ship and find that dude immediately. So I don't know that you're gonna see him that much. I think he's gonna be a looming threat. I think he will be in the movie to some capacity. And we all, when we're backstage, not on the show, on Jedi Council, we all talk about the Rogue One trailer and whether we know Vader's gonna be in the movie so much that we just want to talk about whether he'll be in the trailer or not.
I just need to hear, and I'm fine.
You know what? I think he's going to be in the movie just like in the Star Wars holiday special. He just shows up on the monitor. He's like, Boba Fett, I want you to go get these men. That's it. You don't get to see him. Just kidding.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Jeremy. I love the show. I watch it every day. And my question is, have you guys seen the movie Predestination with Ethan Hawke, and what your thoughts on were?
I did see it. I liked Looper better. It was like Looper light. Like I felt like I took a big diuretic shit. So like poorer version of Looper.
I was into it for a bit, and then in the end, just lost it.
Yeah. It sounds like, what was that horror movie he did with Blumhouse?
Oh,
Sinister. That sounds exactly the first 2 acts.
My wife and I watched together, and at the end of it, we were just like, wow, that makes some sense.
Yeah, it was boring too.
I
wouldn't call it diuretic shit. I might say it's the Taco Bell you eat to cause the diuretic shit. Like, it's a fun movie, and it ultimately lacks a little bit of substance at the end where I thought it might have picked up. But I still enjoyed watching Predestination. I thought it was pretty cool.
I'll fight you
guys.
Hey.
Thanks for seeing you guys. Good to hear you guys all the time. My question is about Infinity Wars Part 1, and if it'll affect Part 2 if it doesn't do as great in any way.
No, because remember, they're shooting those things back to back. They're shooting them at once. So even if Infinity War Part 1 comes out and it's a total bomb and it sucks and nobody sees it and loses money, tough. They already shot number 2 and it's in the pipeline. So that's one of the risks. Like Shep and I will always say, hey, if you know you've got a good property, it makes sense to shoot them together because you save money that way, you save schedule time that way, all that kind of stuff. The downside though is you don't leave yourself any wiggle room for adjustments. Like it's like, an athletic endeavor. You go into halftime, okay, we got to beat a little bit, but let's make some adjustments come out in the second half. You can't do that when you shoot it back to back. So no matter how good or bad Infinity Part 1 is, it ain't going to affect Part 2 because it's already going to be shot.
But a great example is Lord of the Rings. They did shoot all those back to back, and they had enough, like a year of wiggle room that the 3rd one won a fucking Oscar.
Yeah.
So you got to remember, that's the good payoff. And then there's a lot of ones that, they might shoot them close together, but then the second one isn't as good.
Well, people don't realize the risk that Lord of the Rings shooting them back to back was. I mean, no one knew that was going to be a giant hit. Even New Line Cinema didn't know that.
Yeah, and I think there's more of a risk, to be honest. I mean, Civil War needs to be really good because it's the Russo brothers that are doing all 3 of them. So you need, if Civil War isn't good, I mean,
that's the one that can happen.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So we've seen that trailer, and it looks phenomenal, by the way. But if it's bad, and if people hate that movie, then you're like, well, these are the same guys that are doing Infinity War. Because if Civil War is great, and then Infinity War is bad, you go, well, Civil War was really good. Maybe that one was just a misstep. Let's go see 2. So
But also, things can always change. Like, remember Amazing Spider-Man 2, before it came out, they were like, we got Sinister 6, we got Spider-Man 3 and 4, and we got the Aunt May.
But they weren't already filming.
And it was Sony and not Marvel.
You still want that Aunt May movie coming out.
movie's happening. Me and Alice already wrote the script, guys. It's happening. You can't stop it.
It's called glaucoma now.
Hello everyone, I'm Danny.
Hey Danny.
Steph, I love the death of Superman. Is what happened.
Thank you. Jalapenos out in the audience. Where's jalapenos?
So my question is, what's the movie that's been announced and then put on hold that's most disappointing to you guys?
Most disappointing that they put it on hold?
Pacific Rim 2.
Well, like this is going back a few more years, but speaking of Lord of the Rings and Peter Jackson, Halo. I mean, I agree it was the right thing for them to put on hold, unfortunately, but it really sucks that, arguably speaking, in the modern age, the most popular video game of the modern video game era still doesn't have its own movie, while about 45 other video games do have movies.
For me, I just haven't heard anything. I don't know if it's on hold, but when Flash Gordon was announced with Matthew Vaughn, I lost my mind. I haven't heard anything about it at all, so I hope it's not on hold, because I really think there's one person that can make Flash Gordon work, it's Matthew Vaughn.
I mean, I'm pretty pissed off because by this time I was supposed to have seen The Force Awakens, and I haven't. I think it was the right play to delay, but when I heard that, I was like, 6 more months? I gotta stay alive to see this movie? Come on!
Yeah, I stepped into another dimension and saw Batman v Superman because that was supposed to come out in May of this year.
Yeah.
But I was disappointed with Battle Beyond the Stars 2 and Krull 2 got delayed. So I'm still waiting for those two.
Planet of the Dinosaurs too?
Planet of the Dinosaurs is a great, awful movie. Watch it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nick. I just saw the Schmoes, but I was excited to ask another question for all of you guys. I feel like you guys do a very good job of marketing yourselves. And I was just curious, like Schnapp marketed Death Superman Lives very well. You, John Campia and Dennis, you guys do a great job with Collider. And you guys, of course, do the Schmo. How do you guys know like the right ways to market, where to market, and how to push your brand to the mainstream?
Sold our souls.
I tried that, didn't work very well.
Well, what you just told me is I'm a great actor because I don't know how to market word of crowd. I'm terrible at marketing.
I actually disagree because I thought you did a very good job with the movie blog and that led you to AMC and Collider.
Yeah, I guys disagree with you
And
too.
Campia
You're pretty
just
good.
got his Kickstarter, The Pride. You guys all helped make that
I want to be humble, but John Campbell is one of the best social media marketers that I've seen out there. Like, and we've been doing this for a long time too, and like from what he has done with AMC Movie Talk and now with Collider, bless you.
Skylar, someone's calling for you, Skylar.
Because you got to remember, like, look at what Collider did. I mean, Collider had his YouTube channel that maybe had 20,000 subscribers, and then from what John did for building out, and there's a method to it. There's a method to saying, hey guys, here's where we're going. Follow us, do this, putting it out on Facebook, putting it on Twitter. It's acknowledging who your audience is. It's talking to your audience. It's understanding your audience and realizing that we're all just movie fans. You don't look down on anybody. You just talk to people and you let them know where you're going to be. And if they care, they'll go.
Yeah, you trust your gut is what I'd say. Just go with like, whatever you're into, that you know that there's at least 1,000 other weird nerds who are into that same thing. So if you're trying to raise money on Kickstarter, just go with it. Because you have to reach out and make sure that it's there and be, really confident in what you're doing.
And there's also a balance between too much and too little. If you market too little, then no one ever sees it. If you do too much, everyone gets sick of it. So I think that you have to be consistent, but also keep it so people don't get sick of you.
The best marketing tool you can ever have, though, this doesn't matter if you're doing a YouTube show, podcast, if you're making a product or whatever, the best marketing tool you will ever have is your product itself. Make it the best in the world, and then that markets itself. Now, in our world, what that means is I have to go out and get the best people in the world to do it. And I've got John Schnapp and Dennis Zen, I got Mark, and I got Christian, I got Ashley, I got Wendy, and we got Sinead, and we've got the best people in the world. The best marketing tool I have is having great people and having a great product with me. So what you're doing is, a lot of people ask me when they're building YouTube channels or podcasts or websites, how do I get followers? And what they're looking for normally is, they want that magic bullet. You sign up to this Twitter list, or you do this. The magic bullet really is focus on how good your product is, whether that's your podcast, your show, your whatever. If you focus on making that excellent, maybe it'll be slow, but people will start to catch on, and they'll start coming back, and they'll start telling other people about it. And ultimately, because you can have the best social media strategy in the world, If your first visit is to a Collider Movie Talk one day and it's our worst show that we've ever done, doesn't matter how good our social media is, you're probably not going to come back.
Well, and also pay attention to what people are talking about in your space, and don't just talk about things that are popular because everyone else is, but talk about those popular things if you also respond to those things. I mean, look, like one of the things that John and I obviously know are hardcore Star Wars fans. Yeah. And when I joined AMC Movie Talk, I said, dude, we should do a Star Wars show. And he's like, yes, we should. And then because we both love it, we just started talking about it. And it's funny because Mark at first wasn't going to be on the show. I was like, Mark knows Star Wars is better than anyone else. And we just started talking about it. Our passion for it, we would get just, and at the time when we did it on, I know that we had an audience on AMC, but when we brought it back over to Collider, we were happy with a couple amount of people who were watching it. But because I think we talked about it so much and interacted, it is honestly, I'm so proud of Jedi Council because of all the passionate fans that we have watching.
Yeah, there's a fine line when you're starting a YouTube channel, there's a fine line when you're marketing something and you oversell it. Like, you can't mention, that's what I love about Collider Schmoes, like, we never beat you over the head with the fact that, like, that's who we are. Like, I could mention right now I'm at the Laugh Factory November 10th. I could mention it, but I'm not going to, and I like the ways that you can market yourself that isn't just saying stuff into a microphone, like this shirt or like the AMC Movie Talk shirt. I'm still waiting for a sweet Collider shirt that can make sleeveless and show that bigger guns than Ashley Mova.
It's
I'm still
coming.
waiting for that
It's
shirt.
coming. That shirt's coming.
Thank you.
Great question. Next question.
Been a follower since Arrow After Show season 2.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
That's like 11 years ago.
2 quick questions. I know I'm probably a schmuck for saying this, but where did Bring On the Filthy come from?
Okay, what's the second question?
The second one is, are you worried about Batman v Superman? Are they rushing it, or do they have too many characters in it?
Oh, rushing? No. Rushing? No. They've been taking their damn sweet time with that movie. I'm only worried about it because I'm so excited about it.
Right.
So I'm worried, of course. But most everything I've seen from it looks really good. The origin of Bring On the Filthy comes from, I think, 2.5 years ago when I used to do mailbag from my spare bedroom at my place. And what happened was somebody brought up a question about 50 Shades of Grey. And they asked, whether or not they should do it R or go for NC-17. And I brought up something about, you can't go NC-17 because you need to make that money. You gotta be careful how filthy you get. And then I stopped myself and I said, don't get me wrong, I love filthy. Bring on the filthy, is what I said. And for 2.5 years now, that one offhanded remark on a little show I was doing for my spare room is now in like 80% of our email questions.
And they're right on your tombstone.
Just forget about the 50 Shades of Grey thing. I would start rewriting your own history right now.
All right, next question. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi there, my name is Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
And for some of the movies that has been coming out for the past couple of years, like for the reboots or remakes, like the Batman movies, like with the Dark Knight trilogies and the Amazing Spider-Man, and also some of the sequels like Jurassic World and Star Wars Force Awakening that's coming out. Instead of like thinking of some of the movies, like if you're expecting it to be a good movie or a bad movie, would you think of it like as a reminder to some of the past movies or like what it was before, like when you were a kid, and instead of like expecting it to be a good movie or a bad movie?
Well, what you're saying though is that what you're talking about, reminding the nostalgia factor of being taken back, remembering what those other great movies were. Those create expectation. Those create excitement. So you can't necessarily divorce one from the other. Those are actually symbiotic together. They work together and they go together. How would you?
Yeah, it's a matter of. I mean, you bring up the Batman movies.
It's like with Jurassic World. Like before that movie came out, there's people like right now they've been going out to see Jurassic Park,
right?
To see like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it's getting caught back up with it. So I think it's a little tougher though too, because I mean, especially when you bring up the Batman movies because of what and Spider-Man. Because if you look at Spider-Man with that Sony regime. Now you're going to look forward to Spider-Man a little differently now because it's part of a bigger family, and a family that, not just because of the quality of movies that Marvel has made, but because they have an overall through line. So you're not going to, I don't think, revisit the other Spider-Mans. It's not going to tie into it, and that's not the really feel of Spider-Man I think you want unless you go back to maybe the Raimi show.
Or here's one, Poltergeist.
Gross.
Yeah. I would temper all that with like they just announced Gem and the Holograms 2, Electric Acid. It's a brand new creative team, so I'm gonna give it a shot.
All right, thanks. Next question.
This one to John Campia. You're a UFC fan. So
I am.
Do you think McGregor or Aldo?
McGregor. Aldo is the kind of fighter, non-sports fans tune out for 30 seconds. Aldo is a once-in-a-generation kind of fighter. Like he's that Uriah Faber fight was. I don't know if you ever saw pictures of Uriah Faber's leg the next day. It looked like beat meat. I've never seen anything like that before. But every once-in-a-lifetime fighter has kryptonite, and I really think Conor McGregor is that kryptonite. I didn't necessarily believe it as much until his last fight, and then we watched it at Comikaze, as a matter of fact.
But could Batman beat him?
Yes, anything short of Jesus, Batman.
Wait, did you see that they had that video of Conor McGregor sparring with the Mountain?
No, really?
And he won.
Well, I mean, he's a trained fighter. Of course he will, but holy cow, that would be fun to see.
Yeah, he looks tiny next to the Mountain.
Did I just hear Ewan McGregor fighting a can of dog?
Oh yeah, I have a second question for all of you. So when are we going to see on Screen Junkies Movie Fights Collider versus Red Letter Media?
It's hard. It's a difficult thing. They've been trying to get me on for a long time, and I was actually scheduled one day to go on. I got really sick the night before the day Schnepp was on. I was supposed to be on with him. And Tiffany Smith was supposed to be on that show too.
And she got sick.
And she also
John Rogan took your spot, actually.
Was Rogan that's my spot on? What makes it tricky is when they shoot. They shoot that thing, I believe, on Wednesdays?
Fridays.
Fridays,
Yeah.
but it's during the
right
day. It's right when we're shooting Movie Talk. So who did we just have on the show?
Hal Rudnick.
We just have Hal Rudnick on as a guest because they're not shooting every single day. So we're going to make it happen. We've talked about it. I just don't know when yet. It's going to be a little tricky.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's Lowell.
Hi. And if you're wondering why I'm not in the poster. Oh yeah, thank you. If you're wondering where I am in the trailer poster, I'm right here. So that guy mentioned having Red Letter Media as a crossover. I would love to see Nostalgia Critic or Doug Walker on the show sometime. Thanks, that guy knows what I'm talking about. He remembers it, so you don't have to. I know he's in Chicago, but if he ever comes in LA, would you ever have him on the show?
It would be. I like his stuff. If you haven't watched it, I don't watch all of his stuff, but I just watched this thing he did on Mad Max and why it's okay to not think it was the greatest film ever. Just think it's okay. If you haven't seen that video, watch it. It's hilarious. I don't know him, and normally we usually when people come on the show, we usually have some kind of personal connection. And I would, but you know, I never knew, there was a period of time I didn't know Jeremy Johns, and we had him on, so it's absolutely possible. I love getting people and growing the online fan community, and so I love introducing people who happen to follow us to these other great people online who also talk movies, because I just think that just spreads movie fandom online. So whether we can get him, we've talked about some other people we'd love to have on sometime, but he would definitely be one of them on that list. It'd be really cool if we could make it work.
Stay tuned. Who's next?
I'm Nicole, I'm his sister.
Hello, Nicole.
Sister
Nicole.
First lady,
Two-
love it. Hey.
Two things.
Sure.
One, there has been a weird rumor floating around that Anakin will be in this 8th movie, but as Darth Vader. What do you think of that? And second, this has also been bothering me too. In season 4 of Once Upon a Time, a lot of people hated it because of almost everyone was like, we all hate Frozen, so we're all gonna hate Anna and Elsa. I think that brought out the best in the series and kind of sort of the worst in the series.
I don't watch Once Upon a Time, even though
It's totally fine if you don't.
A friend of mine, Jamie Chung, was in season 3 as Pocahontas.
She was
Mulan. As
Yeah,
Mulan.
yeah, yeah.
That's what she was.
Yes, that's right.
And so I haven't watched the show. And I will tell you right now, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I like Frozen. I think Frozen's a good movie. I mean, I know there's a whole lot of hate on it, but that's what usually happens when things get really popular. As far as the Anakin thing, who knows? I think they want to distance themselves from other Star Wars, from the prequel stuff, but it's definitely possible.
As far as the Anakin goes, and I've talked about this on council too, strangely enough, and I thought he was terrible in Christian Roles. I wouldn't hate it because in episode 8, not that he's playing Darth Vader. I think it'll be kind of like a flashback to Clone Wars type thing. And I want to see what Rian Johnson's Clone Wars is done. That to me, because what the Clone Wars series has done is that they have developed a really good Anakin. So to see maybe a new developed, because Hayden Christensen's not the best actor, but he was given nothing to work with Lucas. Watch some of the behind the scenes stuff, it's tough. Now just go over there, smile, great. And then when you have someone like Rian Johnson who does work really well with actors, I'd like to see it.
I don't know if you're going to get to see Rian Johnson's Clone Wars, though.
You know? Flashback. I'm not talking about a whole
big
movie.
flashback.
Isn't it? In a scene, even I'm just in a scene with him talking about it to where anything.
See, that was one of the weirdest text exchanges we've ever had, is because when we heard about, we've had some weird ones that have been involving pictures. Hearing Hayden Christensen might come back to do a cameo as Anakin in episode 8, I was like, how do you feel about this? And
Yeah,
he was
but
like,
they add that. Who cares? It's as long as James Earl Jones is the voice of Darth Vader. Right. That's all I care
But not
about.
seeing him as Darth Vader,
him
seeing him as Anakin Skywalker, and I actually think that's a pretty good idea. I think Anakin Skywalker. If it serves the story, fine. You're not just going to shoot. You're not begging to have Hayden Christensen do the movie. But if it fits in the right way, I wouldn't hate seeing that. I think it'd be kind of cool.
When did you watch Once Upon a Time?
I did.
What did you think of season 4?
With Frozen being thrown in there, I thought that they tried, kind of like what they did with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they tried to relate so hard into the movie, so they brought like Marshmallow, the big snow monster in, they just tried to just bash you over the head with the movie, so I kind of stopped watching because of it. Besides that, I really liked the show until then.
I stopped watching, but I mean, it was great.
It was great up until then.
Listen, guys, we got a whole bunch of you still in line, and we have 10 minutes left. So we are going to go rapid fire. We're going to shoot through these as fast as we can and try to get through all of your questions.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Simon. Last night I watched The Graduate, and I was wondering, and I think that it held up pretty well. What are some like comedies from the 60s and 70s that you think hold stand the test of time?
I think two of the funniest movies ever made were from the 70s. Animal House in 78 and Monty Python and the Holy Grail in 1975.
What's the Woody Allen one with the best Woody Allen?
Oh, Annie Hall.
Annie Hall is
another one
one.
from 79, I think.
I only first watched Annie Hall for the first time like 7 years ago, and blown away by how well it holds up. And
Woody
it's
Allen,
incredibly funny.
see Love and Death, see Manhattan. I'd say see Chinatown. I'd say if you haven't seen Jaws yet, see
Jaws.
That's a hilarious movie.
Comedy or
comedy? If I was going comedy, I'd have to cheat a little bit and go 1980 Airplane.
If you watch Jaws from the shark's perspective, it's probably hilarious.
There's a great 60s comedy called Point Blank. It involves a murderer played by Lee Marvin. You'll laugh. Bowfinger, that's from the 80s. That's a great one. It's saying like 60s.
From the 80s.
90s.
Oh, shoot, it is.
All right, let's thank you.
Hi, my name is Brendan, and the other night I saw the Coen Brothers' debut film, Blood Simple. And I was wondering, what's the best directorial debut from any well-known director, right, dead or alive?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a very recent one, The Gift.
That was really
With
good.
Joel Edgerton, as a directorial debut on a low budget, and all you got is story. You don't have action, visual effects to hold up the movie. You've got to hold up the whole movie through storytelling. I thought that was remarkable.
I'll go comedy with John. That
was his first one.
He didn't even put himself in it, and he didn't need to. It was like that movie. That's powerful. I love it.
Was Moon Duncan Jones' first movie?
Yes. Yeah.
Then Moon.
Moon was great. I think Brick was Brian Johnson's first movie. That was a great one.
What was Nolan's first?
Memento.
Following, which nobody watches.
But it was his first actual.
It was like the first one that got him on the map. It's Eraserhead. That's fine.
Thank you.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm just wondering, who's your favorite director and your least favorite film by them?
Steven Spielberg, The Terminal, with Tom Hanks is my least favorite Steven Spielberg film. That's a great question.
I'd say David Cronenberg, and what was that one called with Freud and?
Oh, the new one?
Yes.
It's Maps to the Stars.
No, not that one.
The one before that.
Cosmopolis?
With
Keira
Vigo and Fassbender.
Yeah, Keira Knightley.
Yeah, Keira Knightley. It's so horrible that I can't remember it.
Royal Pair. Yeah, I'll say Mel Brooks did Dracula Dead and Loving It. And I didn't love it. But Mel course, not a lot of greatness. Leslie Nielsen's in it. It's like, it's not a good movie, but watch all the other movies from both of those guys.
Yeah, that's right.
Scorsese and probably Hugo. I didn't hate it. I liked it, but it wasn't
Hugo, yeah.
It wasn't
I was
fantastic.
thinking of
No.
Scorsese, but the color money was okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Wait a second, this is his first convention, give him a break. His very first convention on that, I love the trust, if you gotta come here at 3 o'clock, so.
My name's Jafet, and my question is, in the last Batman vs. Superman trailer, there's a Robin Memorial. Which Robin do you think is the Memorial?
First of all, that was a terrible question. No, I'm just kidding. That's really the big question that everybody's asking right now, right?
I was like, holy shit! He's 40.
It is the question everybody's been asking since that trailer came out. Is like, okay, so what is the deal with that thing? And they have done such a good job keeping that under wraps that it's left us to do nothing but guess. So
I'm going Jason Todd, man. That's the Jason Todd Robin.
I have no idea.
It's Anakin.
I don't think it's going to be Dick Grayson, because I think he's going to be in the Batman film. So it could be Jason Todd. I'm tired of people saying the Joker is Jason Todd. John Suplex, the child Campia, that's his new name. You know what? My guess would be Drake. I'm going to go with Drake.
I say Jason
Oh,
Todd.
Tim Drake. I thought you meant like the Hotline Bling Drake. It's Drake.
It's Robin just filled with cake money.
Thanks, man.
Good question.
Thank you so much.
Well, I'll go real fast here. Two quick things. The October 27th episode where you were talking about franchise that could be into good movies, you were saying Black Star. Yeah. And I think you got confused with Brave Star.
Brave Star, yes.
Yeah, okay, as long as you got that settled. Real quick.
5,000 people corrected me. Snap, you got it wrong. It's like, dude. That's what I found out right after the show. You can chill. Everyone's like, I can't believe it. Like 1,000 of these corrections. Thank you, weirdo.
I noticed this summer, two films came out that were pretty disappointing. One was really disappointing. It was Fantastic Four. And of course, Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
What I noticed, and I heard on Collider.
Did you just put Age of Ultron up to with Fantastic Four? That's worlds apart. Oh my god.
Let me finish. So, you know, I read
Wait, let me finish for a second. I can't believe that he put it in the same.
I read a lot of movie reviews. I watch your show. I know making a movie is hard, and I don't know Joss Whedon. I don't know Josh Trank. I'm pretty sure they're nice guys. But it seems like, you know, when these movies didn't turn out what we wanted them to be, you know, we're blaming the studios. You know, and I hear, you know, poor Josh Trank, the studio let him do this. Poor Joss Whedon, blah, blah, blah. Kind of hard to feel sorry for Joss Whedon. When the movie's a success, you're all crying his name. But it seems like, you know, no one gets the studios, you know, credit when the movie's a success. All I'm trying to say is that if the movie's a failure, don't you think the director should take some blame for that as well?
Well, I will say that the studios do get, Disney gets a lot of love. Universal got a lot of love for their year this year, I'll tell you that.
Universal gets a lot.
But the studios
They also get money, yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's where the love comes. But I think that it's also case by case. And I think with Josh Trank, I think it's equal blame. I think there's a lot of stuff he did wrong. I think there's a lot of stuff they did wrong. But I think sometimes we don't hear everything that's out there. It's case by case.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, it's also, there's like all that Hollywood insider stuff that you'll never be privy to. So it's already, I mean, I understand what you're saying about, you know, hey, usually if it's a failure, the director does like not take, you know, wash. I mean, there are 3 projects that they had lined up go away.
It's also about power too. The reason why I'm always so down on Michael Bay is he has the power to change all that stuff. He's not in a position where the studio goes, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. He makes them a ton of money. He can do whatever he wants. So someone like him, I can be like, no, that's your decision.
Schnepp, you kind of mentioned this. What's the dumbest theory you've ever heard for a movie? Like, I agree, Jason Todd, Joker's dumb, but I think the dumbest one is that this guy is Luke Skywalker.
Yes. That was the dumbest one, but now there's one that Jar Jar is Snow. That's a real theory. This guy makes sense. This guy makes no sense.
Was that from moviepilot.com as well?
No, it was this theory. Like he's like, what if because Jar Jar was this guy that was plotting? He's not the bumbling idiot. Look the way it flipped. That was Phantom Menace.
Speaking of the
That would
dumbest
be
theory,
kind of like Iron Man 3 with the.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
Yeah, so it's like the Ben Kingsley flip. Yeah,
I
that's
just heard the Batman is Deathstroke, and somebody wrote like a
Christian
weird
Bale's
theory
Batman
about
again.
it. The dumbest thing I could possibly, I would not read even the theory, but some friend of mine was like, what do you think about that? I was like, you're seriously asking me. I was like, fuck you.
avenge you, Eddie.
Thanks, guys.
Hi guys, huge fan. Jedi Council was amazing last Thursday.
Yes.
I have a question. Do you guys, well, what do you guys think about a Warriors remake?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard those rumors.
Okay,
And how do you guys feel about it?
I actually, okay, so quick story. I actually have friends of mine who are directors, and they were literally standing in my kitchen when they got the call to go into the studio to talk about a Warriors remake. This has been talked about in the studios for a while. They are trying to get this going, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen, and it's a good one to remake. You know, I mean, I'm all for remakes.
Oh, I love the original.
I love the original too. But that's a great one to remake for a modern audience. It might suck, but if it does, who cares? We still got the original.
How many gets a cell phone call and it's like on the phone, Warriors?
We're trying to work it in. Someone takes an Uber to come down.
Yeah, I was Warriors.
Well, I think the point of this is I'm going to spend more time in John Campia's kitchen because good things happen. I've never seen the original, so I need to check that out.
Are you kidding me?
Come on, dude!
There's some of them that just stay silent.
Thank you guys, thank you. Happy Sunday, guys.
Hey, I'm Keith.
Hey, Keith.
As John says all the time, all movies are subjective, but is there a movie if somebody says they like or dislike it makes you go, what?
Well, sure. I mean, it's subjective, so I can never tell you, nor should you ever tell somebody they are wrong for liking a movie or right. But you can say, "Are you crazy?"
Right.
Like, so when people tell me that they don't like Star Wars, I'm just like, oh, okay. When people tell me that I can't think of one that people tell me they like, but.
When people tell me they don't like the Warriors, I am like,
Yeah, you know what I think? It's like you're, especially with people you barely know, and they tell you like a list of things that they're into. It's like if you're just getting to know them, you have 100% opinion of that person, and then it either stays 100 or lowers. So I think when people, especially with things like video games or movies or comic books or anything that like the things that you're really into, or for these sports guys like sport teams or whatever, I don't know what sports are about. Sports people. That's kind of like, that's like if someone told me they're like, yeah, I watched The Godfather, I was bored with it. That goes from 100 to like 40, and I also see them as kind of like an animal and not a human being. As like a kind of a half vegetable thing that can talk.
Somebody and they say, oh, I don't really like Pulp Fiction.
Get out! My planet!
I got a comment recently.
Also, we are going to get through the rest of the questions, but just so you know, the rest of the questions only one of us in the panel are going to answer.
Okay.
So also point out who you'd like to have answer your question, we'll do that.
Thank you. Anyways, Comikaze, I love your guys' show.
Thank you.
Addressing the council, whoever wants to take it. Kylo Ren as Jason.
Wait, and here, pick up your Kylo Ren, bro.
Kylo Ren, yeah. After.
Okay.
Question. Gotcha. Kylo Ren as Jason Solo. Percentage, thought?
I think he's a version of Jason Solo for sure. Whether or not his name is Jason, I don't know, but I think you can pretty much take to the bank he's Han Solo's.
Nice. More likely than Snoke as
More likely than Snoke's Plagueis, yes. I mean, Jar Jar as Snoke.
My name is Mike. My question is that with Ash vs. the Evil Dead premiering last night, could it be the next big zombie show? And if it does well enough, could it become a possible movie?
I think that's the biggest question, is if it does well enough. I mean, I haven't seen the numbers on it yet, so I think once the numbers come out, I mean, look, if it's trending 1.5, 1.9 million viewers, no. If it's like 7 million, if it gets like CBS kind of numbers, then yeah, there are going to be discussions about, well, let's get this on the big screen as fast as possible.
Which show? I'm sorry.
Ash vs. the Evil Dead.
Oh, you got greenlit for season 2. Already, yeah.
What's that?
You got greenlit for season 2.
Yeah, I heard about that, but I don't know what numbers for that network. Like, numbers for CW shows, Supernatural, my favorite show on television right now, right? That would have got canceled 9 years ago on NBC or CBS because it doesn't have the numbers for that. But for CW, they're considered pretty good numbers. So I have to see the numbers, we just don't know them yet.
Hi.
Hey!
There's a rumor right now that Nightwing and Red Hood will be in the new Batman movie. What are your thoughts on that?
It's possible. Any thoughts?
Yeah, they should do it. It's a good storyline.
Thank you.
It's a nice, clean exchange.
Totally weird, I wasn't happy with that.
Hi, my name is Magnus. Thank you, John, for bringing the best movie entertainment show from AMC's Collider. That's it.
And Christian just ended with that, right?
Drop the mic.
My question, as far as Hayden Christensen returning, do you think it's a possibility that the way they will bring him back is to introduce him in an archival footage via a Jedi holocron, which we have yet to see on screen?
Nerdiest question of the panel.
I think that's even more likely than a flashback, to be honest, because if you look,
And it would kind of be a flashback in a way.
it would, but if you look at, let's say, Kylo Ren.
Wait, can you explain to the normal people?
It's just like
what a holocron is?
it's
It's
archive
It's
footage.
a video diary
Yeah,
journal, basically, of the Jedi.
Like going through a library and seeing like archive footage or whatever, that's very possible that can happen. I also think that's a possibility they're talking about Rogue One with Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
If they did a CGI version of him, that might also be an holocron.
It'd be like 45 parsecs from now.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
The way that Schnepp watched you guys explain what a holocron was, he had the wonderment of a child in his eyes.
I have to admit,
All right,
I
how
know
many more
what
do
a
we got
holocron
here?
is.
2 more? All right, let's work through these last 2.
So this is for whoever knows the answer to it. I actually work for AMC Theaters, and one of the perks I get to see movies for free.
Good for you.
So like, how does that account towards?
You get that
the
Age
box
of
office?
Ultron t-shirt for free from AMC?
Yeah, when a movie theater chain like AMC Theaters issues movie passes, because we used to give out to our own crew, we used to give them out to some celebrities, whatever. Whenever they're used, though, those go on a record. And then the theater chain has to account for those records and actually have to give up some money back to the studios to compensate for those things at a discounted rate. So yes, when you use your free pass, the studios are still going to get paid out.
Okay.
They still have mine till the end of the year, right?
Oh, what the hell?
Hi, my name is Josh. This question is for the panel. What are you going to do if Star Wars isn't good?
Go into
I'll take your answer off there.
I was able to fool myself for 8 years that The Phantom Menace was good, so I think if The Force Awakens isn't good, I only have like a year before I get to see Rogue One, so I get to see a good Star Wars movie, so I will keep believing the next movie is going to be great.
And I trust Harrison Ford in a hot dog costume.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that hasn't really held back his opinions in the past, and he is talking how much he loves it. But as far as if it's bad, yeah, I'll cry.
I don't drink, but I will take a drink.
That I'd be shocked because like I know people who are working on it. We're all friends with a lot of people, and everyone even working on it's like it's really good. So I mean, I can't be like, and I'm trying to just be like it's gonna be garbage. So that's how I'm going into it because I want to enjoy it. So as long as I think it sucks, I'll be so happy that it's just even if it's moderately okay, I'll be like it was so good. Because I'm thinking like Phantom Menace and Jar Jar and Poopy. This is poop. Like poop jokes.
You
There's not gonna be
mean
poop
Darth
jokes.
Jar Jar?
Yeah.
How about this? If the movie's bad, I will wear those pants on the next episode.
Thanks for taking my question. I love your show.
Guys, let me close this thing off by doing this. We're already a couple minutes over time, but if you'll indulge me just for a minute. I want to tell you a little something about our show and the people up here. A lot of you guys have not met Wendy Lee yet at the end. Wendy Lee came on with us near the beginning of the year because I think the doctor said I was literally dying from being overworked. And I wasn't keeping up on anything. We needed an assistant to come in. Wendy has come in. She's not only my assistant, she is now like the full administrator of everything we do. We have 15 shows that we do with about 23 people on our team now. And Wendy coordinates all of it. She coordinates all of it. She does all the administration, all the paperwork, all the scheduling, you have no idea how much she does. We are so lucky to have her.
Constantly reminds me, I would never get paid if it wasn't for her. She's like, Schnepp, send in your invoice, and then repeatedly. And sometimes, like, I'm out of town, she'll do it for me. So I would be probably broke and homeless.
Beside her is the one guy in all the years that I've been doing this that I went out and asked him to come and join what we're doing. It's Dennis Zen. I mean, a lot of you guys only get to see when Dennis is on camera, and he's one of the most knowledgeable guys that I know, but we simply could not function without him behind the scenes. I make no decisions at Movie Talk without consulting Dennis. He is just one of the most valuable guys we absolutely have, and he's an absolute treasure.
I would also be late every day.
People don't know I pick up Schnepp Monday through Wednesday.
20 blocks away, so this is true.
Wait, so Schnepp, you get paid and you get rides to the studio?
John Schnepp was... John Schnepp was introduced to me because I was looking for somebody who knew anything about this crappy little comic book, Guardians of the Galaxy, because they had just announced this movie that nobody had ever heard the comic book, and a mutual friend of ours set us up on like a Tinder date, I guess. And he came in as a guest. We had a great time doing that first show together, and we talked afterwards, and we said, we got to do this again. And I think even at that first time, we knew this was going to turn long term, and then about a year later, we made it official, we put a ring on it, he actually became part of the crew, and he is just such a part. I mean, you can't think now of Movie Talk without kind of seeing that face. So John Schnepp has been an amazing addition. Christian Harloff, first and foremost. We were going through a bit of expansion, and I was aware of what the Schmoes were doing. Christian had guested with us before, and I was kind of surprised to hear that he wanted to come and join the team. And I remember I've admired what these guys have done at Schmoes Know so much, which if you have not checked out Schmoes Know, you should really check out what they do. And my big concerns was like, dude, I think you need to spend your time focusing on Schmoes. No, I don't think you should come over here. But, you know, we talked and we talked about what would be the possibilities. You know what, Christian just has a big picture kind of mind. He doesn't just think about this show. He thinks about, what does this show do for the 3 shows that come later? How does this all tie together? What is the fan experience going to be? He's just that kind of strategic thinker. And you may not think about that if you just see him on camera, but in my interaction with him, I just can't imagine us doing what we're doing right now without Christian Harloff. So that's Christian. And for those of you who don't know, Mark Ellis recently got a girlfriend.
You guys can't see her? She's right here. Say hi.
No, I just want to say about Mark. Honestly, I tease Mark sometimes, whatever, but it's honestly because I think Mark Ellis might be my favorite online personality. He is funny and engaging, but I know a lot of funny guys. The difference with Mark is he knows so much history, and he knows so much about the movies, and when he cracks a joke, it's always something that's really smart and funny at the same time, which just makes it, for me, really fun to come in every day and do the show. So that's Mark Ellis. And the most unsung heroes that we have, I think, on our Movie Talk team are Sinead DeFries and Ashley Nova. Because people think what they do is easy. And I'm going to tell you right now, the only reason you think it's easy is because they make it look easy. If you've ever seen me try to host one of the shows because one of the girls were out, I have interviewed literally hundreds of potential hosts over the years. And it is insane how difficult of a job it actually is. And, you know, Ashley and Sinead just pull it off with such grace. They set the tone. They're the first faces you see, the first voices you hear. They set the tone for all of our shows, and they just bring an energy and a dynamic to it that I think we would really miss if they weren't here. So that is Ashley Nova and Sinead DeFries.
And how about it for John Camp, everybody?
But by far the most important part of our crew, this isn't lip service, is you guys. Not just because you watch, not just because you comment, not just because of all that kind of stuff, but you guys entertain us. I can have the crappiest day. Believe me, a couple weeks ago I had a really crappy day. We can have the crappiest days, and I am constantly bombarded by notes from you guys, whether it's something funny, a funny picture that you found, some fan art you've made for the show, whether it's pointing out something that I didn't know, whatever. Like, what's that?
Red tornado.
Red tornado.
It really does look like Campia though.
But I mean, you guys just keep us energized, and we really could not do the show without you, and that's not just because of your view numbers, it's because you guys fuel us and keep us going. So on behalf of the most incredible crew in the online movie world, we want to thank you for all of your... Anything else before we sign off?
I will say that you were not talking about Josh McCougan.
Yeah, there's a couple of exceptions.
There's about 20 people I really should mention.
No, I'm saying as far as being one of the people we care about in the crowd.
Oh, no. It's more of a charity case.
Get back here!
We're starting to get Kickstarter soon for him to buy some new clothes. But that will do for us, guys. Thanks so much, and we can't wait to see you on Monday.
Hey guys, if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll help you stay up to date with everything we've got going on here at Collider.